Hi and welcome to the channel. I'm Gunman Orange and this is the first episode of a series in which I'll be exploring the world of Flight Simulator 2024 in VR. In the series I'll be talking about the gear I'm using and discuss settings and things like that. I'll also be talking a little bit about the places we fly over and the places we fly to. I'm planning to make regular videos and I'm hoping the channel will grow. So if you like this content, please do like and subscribe and leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. I'm also looking at doing some live shows too, where I'll be flying with other players in multiplayer mode. So here we are at RAF Lakenheath in virtual reality to pick up our new jet. It's called RAF Lakenheath, but it's basically a US airbase in the UK and mainly hosts F-15s and F-35s of the US Air Force. We'll be flying the plane back to RAF Valley on the island of Anglesey in Wales, which will be our base for this series. So here's our plane. It's an unmarked F-16C Fighting Falcon, sometimes known as the Viper. I'll talk about the plane in more detail as we go along, but for now, let's get in the cockpit, get the plane started, and get in the air. So here we are, in the cockpit. Just getting the jet ready to fly. And switching on the power, turning on the APU, just setting up the MFDs or multi-function displays, turning them on. Going to bring up the head-up display now. That's all good, so let's start the engine. I say the engine, the F-16 is a single engine jet. Just watching for the RPMs to come up now. When that gets up to about 70, we'll be ready to move. Okay, turning off the APU, canopy down. Parking brake off, add a bit of power and let's get rolling. And slowly rolling out past a load of F-15s. US Air Force F-15s. approaching the runway now. Just be a right turn onto the runway here. Trying to get lined up nicely with the centre of the runway. Okay, full power. Brakes off and we're away. We'll get up to about 120 knots. And then we'll rotate and pull up into the sky. Undercarriage in. Slowly backing off the throttle a bit now, just so we don't accelerate out of control. Doing a left turn now. The town of Brandon, down below there. We're pretty much going to be going across the country, east to west, right across the middle. Okay, so we're pretty much on line for home now. We can see little port to the left there. So we're not going to be doing any tricks or any fast flying really on this flight, or any low level stuff. This is just mainly just to get the plane back home. So I'm just setting up the autopilot now. We're going to climb up to about 15,000 feet for most of the flight. Just setting the auto throttle there to keep us at about 450 knots. So we're at 450 knots now, there or thereabouts, slowly climbing up to 15,000. So that straight line to the left there, the New Bedford River. Lovely day, not too many clouds in the sky. So we get to see a good bit of the ground. Now that New Bedford River is just too straight. I can only assume that it's a man-made extension to a natural river. I will have to look that up though. Through the cloud. I think that's the village of Whittlesea down there. So I won't be talking non-stop through the flight. I'll just be making comments here and there. We're not actually going to be doing much in the cockpit of the plane now until we get closer to home. Where we'll slow down, descend, and then eventually land at Valley. Just coming over the Peterborough area now. So much open countryside in England. You don't really realise just how much of it is countryside until you get up in the air. Such a small country, but the population is kind of grouped densely in little areas, in the towns and the cities. So I think this is Leicester here to our left. over there on our right. And that's east, you can just see the East Midlands Airport down there. To the right. And over in that direction there will be Derby. Blithfield Reservoir down there. So we're now approaching Stafford on our left. We'll be flying over Stoke-on-Trent. The Pottery is on the right hand side. Pretty much 3/4 of the way there now. Okay, we're starting to descend now. Initially to 10,000 feet and then we'll drop down to 5,000. But you can hear the engine backing off. So we don't accelerate as we're descending. Descended down towards Wrexham. So we're in Wales now. You can see the Wirral over there. Sorry, not over there. Over there to the right. That's the River Dee you can see coming in there. You can also see the River Mersey. Just coming over Wrexham now. So we're down at about 10,000 feet now. All looking good, so we'll continue our descent down to about 5,000 feet. We won't be going much lower than that until we're right close to home. Because we've got the, we'll be going over the Welsh Mountains, Mount Snowdon, which is about 3,500 feet high, I think. Pass through some cloud now as we descend. I think that was St Asaph to the right there. Almost down to 5,000 now. It's Lake Bala in the distance there. We'll be seeing that more in tomorrow's episode when we go into the Mach Loop. I think we'll approach the Mach Loop from Lake Bala. Over the Brennig Reservoir there, to the left. course correction. I think what we'll do anyway is, rather than go straight in like I was initially going to do, we'll actually try and fly over the top of Mount Snowdon. Lovely views over Wales there. Into Snowdonia now. So we're just backing the throttle off a bit now. Drop down from 450 knots to about 250 knots. And we'll keep that speed as we do our approach into RAF Valley. Our initial approach anyway. A little bit of snow on the mountains there. As we swing round the summit of Mount Snowdon, should be able to see the little train station at the top there. That little jump there was just when I turned basically the autopilot off, so we're in control of the altitude now. We can see Anglesey ahead of us there. It's the Menai Straits. I'll have a closer look at that area in a down at about 250 knots now, where we need to be. Starting to prepare for landing. Flying over the town of Carnarvon on our right there. You might be able to see the castle in the corner. Just getting ourselves lined up with the runway. I can actually see the runway, I'm not sure, I don't think you can see it yet on the video. Pretty much lined up with the runway now. Flying in over Newborough. brakes out now, or the boards as they call them. This is done in the F-16 because it's actually quite an unstable jet, really, quite hard to land. So having the boards out means you can have more thrust in the engine, which without speeding up, which basically makes it all more stable. So the undercarriage is out now, just descending down to the runway. Reducing our speed as we go. Be landing at about 150, 160 knots in today's conditions. Still slowing down. A little bit high, so we're just getting ourselves on the right glide slope. Okay, there we go, we're pretty much on now. Pretty much at our landing speed. And nicely on the glide slope. Bit low really, but we're okay. Okay, backing the engines off. Bit of a flare. And touchdown. Brakes on, slowing down. We're going to taxi and park up at slot 35 here at RAF Valley. Getting a little fast there, so the brakes on. And there's an F-35, I think, in front of us there. And we'll be parking up in the slot next to that. And there we go. Engine off. Electrics off. Canopy open. Let's get back outside. So if you've got this far, Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it and you'll come back for the next episode. You can click on the bell notification if you want to be notified when it's uploaded. The next time we see our plane, it'll have a new paint job, a custom gunman orange livery, and we will be putting the plane through its paces as we go out to the famous Mach Loop, a low-level military training area in Wales. As I mentioned earlier, I'd love the channel to grow, so please do like and subscribe. And until next time, take care and goodbye.